Hello everyone. Now let's see how to prescribe diet. Its general principle and the steps to be followed while prescribing diet for a person. Before prescribing diet, we need to know the history of the person about his activity, occupation, whether he's in a growth phase or in an old age, then any chronic diseases or diabetes mellitus, any other disease condition is there or not. All these factors should be kept in mind. Moving on to the general principles. First thing we need to include about the dietary RDA, dietary allowances, recommended daily allowances of all the nutrients, vitamins and minerals. All those dietary sources should be included in the diet. First one, ideal body weight. One person should attain the ideal body weight, and the ideal body weight is calculated from the height. So, in order to attain the ideal body weight, if the person is underweight, he should include more nutrients and calories in the diet, and an overweight person should reduce the calorie intake, and thus one should attain the ideal body weight. And this ideal body weight is calculated according to the height. And for male, it is given, adult male, it is given as 48 kg for 153 centimeter height, plus or minus 1.25 kg for every centimeters. And whereas for a female, it is given as 45 kg for 153 centimeter height, plus or minus 1 kg for every centimeters. Next factor, that is the protein requirement. So in the diet, protein has to be included, and protein to be prescribed is according to the weight of the person. So for a normal adult, it is 1 gram per kg of the adult's weight, and for children it is 2 gram, whereas for pregnancy and lactation it is 2.5 gram per kg weight of the person. That's how protein is being given according to the weight. So if, for example, if the person is 60 kg weight, so 60 kg weight adult, so the protein requirement of that person is 60 gram. Next one, calorie requirements. The calorie requirements is depending upon the age, sex, height, weight, physical activities and occupation of the person. And as general, it is given in the range of 30 to 35 kilocalories per kg of ideal body weight. So it is depending upon the weight, around 30 to 35, and it is depending upon the activities of the person. If he is sedentary, then we will take the lower range, that is 30 kilocalories per body weight, kg of body weight. If the person is having higher muscular activities, then 35 kilocalories per kg weight, and extra 300 kilocalories should be given during pregnancy, lactation and convalescence. The next factor to be kept in mind is the SDA, specific dynamic action. Extra energy is to be accounting to SDA should be included in the diet. Next factor is the ratio of carbohydrates, proteins and fats. A balanced diet should contain calories from carbohydrates, proteins and fats in the ratio of 60:20:20. Carbohydrates 60, proteins and fats 20 and 20. Next, let's move on to the steps for prescription of diet. First one is the calorie requirements. Calorie requirements is calculated according to the energy requirement of the person. So for that, first we need to know whether the person is sedentary or active. So according to that, the calorie requirement of the person is being calculated. For example, if we take a 60 kg of sedentary man, the energy requirement of the person, let's calculate. So the weight of the person, the calorie requirement is given according to the weight of the person. So 60 kg person into, he is a sedentary person, so 30 kilocalories into 30. 60 kg person sedentary, since he is a sedentary person, the calorie requirement is 30 kilocalories per kg of the body weight. So 60 into 30, that is coming around 1800. Plus we need to keep in account with the SDA, specific dynamic action, that is 10% of 1800, that is coming around 180. And as roughly approximately it is coming as 2000. It's actually 1980, and we can round it as 2000. 2000 kilocalories is required for a normal sedentary person. The calorie required for a sedentary person, it is 2000 kilocalories. That is the calorie requirement of a normal sedentary 60 kg person. Next step is proximate principle, that is the estimation of energy derived from proteins, carbohydrates and fats. Let's take the same example with the 60 kg person. How much amount of carbohydrates, protein and fats should be included in his diet. So proteins, as we said before, it is 1 gram per kg of body weight of an adult. So for a 60 kg person, the protein provided should be 60 grams. 60 grams of protein should be provided for a 60 kg sedentary man. So this is giving an energy of 240 kilocalories. 60 gram of protein is giving 240 kcal of energy. Kilocalories of energy is 240. So as we calculated before, for a sedentary person, 2000 kcal is required for the activities. That is a total calorie requirement. 2000 should be provided. So out of that, 240 is provided with the proteins. So remaining should be provided by the carbs and fats. The remaining means 2000 minus 240, that is 240, that is 1760. 1760. So as a general rule, 20% of the total calories should be supplied by the fats. That is 20% is 1760 into 20%, that's coming around 350 kilocalories should be provided by the fats. 20% of the total carbohydrates should be fats. That is coming around 350, that is 35 grams of fats. 350 kilocalories is equivalent to 35 grams of fats, and the remaining, that is 1760 minus 350, that is around 1400, that should be provided by the carbohydrates. That is approximately 350 grams of carbohydrates. So 60 grams of proteins, 60 gram of protein should be included, that is giving around 240 kilocalories. So total calorie should be 2000 minus 240, that is coming around 1760. This 1760 calories should be provided with the help of carbohydrates and proteins, because 240 is provided by the proteins. 1760 should be provided by the carb and fats. So out of that 1760, 20% of that should be provided with the fats, that is 350 kilocalories, that is approximately 35 grams of fats. Remaining 1400 calories is supplied by 350 grams of carbohydrates. (60 grams of proteins, 35 grams of fats, and 350 grams of carbohydrates. That's how it's calculated. Next rule, that is general composition of the food. How these proximate principles are supplied as common foodstuffs. So for that we need to know the nutritive values of each foodstuffs, and accordingly it is being prescribed. Next one is determination of the items of food. By knowing the requirement and the nutritive value, we need to prescribe each food items. Cereals and pulses should be included because they are the one which is providing the essential amino acids which is required for the normal metabolism, and it should be in pulses and cereals should be in the ratio of 1:5 in order to provide good proteins in our diet. In order to provide good protein diet, pulses and cereals should be in the ratio of 1:5. Fruits and vegetables should also be included in the diet because they provide vitamins and minerals. We have already discussed how each fruits and vegetables are providing vitamins and minerals. Milk provides calcium. Milk is a poor source of iron, whereas iron is being provided with the help of pulses, cereals and vegetables, meat, etc. Then vitamin A and B complexes found in leafy vegetables, etc. All those has been already discussed, so that fruits and vegetables also should be included in the diet so that it provides the required nutrients like vitamins and minerals. Then food exchange system, that is, if a particular item of food is not available, it should be exchanged with another food items which is having similar nutritive value, which is equivalent. If one food item is not available, that is being replaced with the another locally available food item in order to maintain the normal nutritive value. Then mutual supplementation of cereals and pulses should be in the ratio 1:5. Then at least 3 meals per day should be taken. Then while prescribing a normal diet, proteins, fats and calories, calcium, iron, all these items should be included in the diet. Protein 60 grams as we calculated, then fats 35 to 40. Then total calories should be 2000 kilocalories. Then calcium should be 400 milligrams and iron 25 grams. All this should be calculated according to the person's availability, activity and physical status and disease condition, etc. should be kept in mind. Next, moving on to the diet for a diabetic patient. Management of diabetes mellitus is through controlled diet and exercise. To reduce the postprandial hypoglycemia, the following diet has to be followed. That is, diet having low glycemic index so that the elevation of sugar is minimal. You all know what is glycemic index. Glycemic index, the formula is given as the area under the glucose tolerance curve after 50 gram of test meal by the area covered after 50 gram of reference meal into 100. So that glycemic index, the foodstuffs having low glycemic index should be included in the diet of a diabetic patient so that there is no elevation of sugar value in their blood. Total calories is given in small doses so that small quantities of food should be taken at frequent intervals. So diabetic patients are advised to have small meals at small intervals, and they should also include foodstuffs having low glycemic index. Simple carbohydrates like glucose and sugar should be avoided because they are having high glycemic index. Whereas complex carbohydrates like starch and dietary fibers will not increase the blood sugar, and they should be included in our diet, and they helps in digestion and absorption. As a general rule, glycemic index of carbohydrates is lowered if it is combined with proteins, fats and fibers. Other rules is that while prescribing a diet for a diabetic patient, sugar, sweets and refined carbs has to be avoided. Then green leafy vegetables etc. should be included, and tubers should be restricted as they have higher carbohydrate content in them. Then the diabetic patient should have frequent small meals. Okay, that's all. Thank you.